So, why Harmonic? Kind of in the spirit of last week, I'm still at the beginning phase of all this, so I figured I'd stay at my start. Harmonic by Unwritten Law was one of the very first songs I ever played as a punk song on an acoustic guitar. When I was a kid growing up in the late 90s, there was no better time to be into the sort of punk rock that I'm into. Seemed like everywhere I went, everything I watched, the soundtrack of life was just custom tailored to my taste. And went especially as far as my favorite skate and snowboard videos. When I was about 16, I would get together with my two best friends, Justin and Jake, all the time to go snowboarding up at Stevens Pass. We'd go to my mom's house on a Friday night, we'd wax our boards, and we would watch this cassette tape on repeat. Well, not this cassette tape. This is the second copy I have because we wore out the first one. But Mac Dog Productions' Decade was something that would just play on a loop while we were getting excited and getting ready to go snowboarding the next day. Had one of the best soundtracks I had ever heard in my life. My best friend Justin's favorite writer, Devin Walsh's part, kicked off with him opening up a pizza box, looking at the camera and going, "Deluxe!" And that was when this track would hit. And when it hit and the writing hit, it hit harder than anything else in 30 minutes that kept us captivated on repeat. It was an odd thing. Over the years, somehow, I'd lost track of this band. I know that Seeing Red came out as a radio hit somewhere along the line, but for whatever reason, even though it's a fantastic track, it just didn't land with me when it came out. It was when I played Need for Speed Underground that I heard the song Celebration Song on the soundtrack. Something hit. I had to find out who this band was. Oh, they're Unwritten Law. Unwritten Law? Like the UL from UL and DHC from Josie by Blink-182 back when I was a kid? No, I think I've heard of these guys somewhere. So I look at the album. The album's fantastic. I start looking in the back catalog, Oz Factor, Blue Room. Self-titled album has the song Harmonic on it. Somehow from one soundtrack to another, over the span of about 5 years, I lost and rediscovered what would be one of my all-time favorite bands. Right around this time, I also happened to get a staph infection on my index finger on my left hand. According to the doctor, who said the word amputation at some point in time, I just remember that and running out of the room and being drugged back in. I was also probably never going to be able to play guitar again. It was kind of a sad thing. Spent about a year living under that cloud. It hurt to do anything before I finally said, you know what, screw it. All I've ever played is power chords. I was never a complex, complicated, or talented guitarist in the first place. So I still got these 3 fingers. I can still play some open chords. If all I'm playing is majors and minors to begin with is a power chord, majors and minors, I can do that. Maybe not B's or F's, but eventually I got to a point where I could finally make a little bit of a bar chord again. And as I was playing, I looked up the tab to Harmonic by Unwritten Law. I saw D, E minor, G, and well, you know what? I bet I could play this. This was right before I started singing full-time in the first band I ever did it in, and obviously I've never quit. Way before I ever had any lessons, ability, confidence, anything like that. But I played this one song, and I had a roommate way back in the day named Kalina. And Kalina, if you're watching this, I hope you know that your kind words resonate to this day. I can't remember what specifically they were, but it was just such a kind thing she had to say about this new thing I tried that I stuck with it, that I stuck with singing, that I went on to sing and play guitar in bands, and that I'm here doing that I'm doing today. So I guess that's a pretty good segue to get into things. And without any further ado, may I present Harmonic.
Well, I'll see you around. I don't wanna stay and drown. The drama's got too thick. It makes me sick. But I don't wanna talk about it. I've already thought about it. Surround up my pride. I've shed these tears and dried these eyes. fun, and one of us gone now. I wanna see, is it me out the door? Told you before, wanna have fun, and life will just begun now. I've seen the light, tried to talk about it. If you were ever down for me, just how you see. You know I'm right, and it showed in your eyes. We had shared as one empty, so that it be. I wanna know, does it show on my face? Sick of this place, wanna move on, one of us gone now. I wanna see, is it me out the door? Told you before, wanna move on, I've just begun now. I guess there's no harmonic of D, but that's still cromulent.
Well, that's another week in the can, and as one of my favorite bands would say, yeah, I know I got a lot of favorites. That's 2 in a row! Just so y'all know, I kind of have my next 21 weeks planned for y'all, for myself, or whoever might want to join in on this show. So if you've been here since, the beginning, last week, and you're here now, and you're here in perpetuity, man, do I love you. If you're catching this somewhere down the line, man, do I love you. If you're taking the time to watch this, man, do I love you. If you take the time to do those things that the algorithm likes, man, do I love you. Anyway, you watch this, man, do I love you. Thank you so much. I'll come at you next week with something else. Stay cromulent.